And we're back. Scott from Scott Rod's Garage here, and we got some of the tools that we're going to use on this particular job set up, so you can see the kind of stuff that we're going to be involved with here. So, point out some of the stuff. I'm going to have a multiple array of cutoff wheels, grinders. I'm going to wire wheel, get rid of some of the scale. Anything I want to get rid of before I prep this thing for its final finish, before we cover it up with the Dynamat and then the carpet, the matting and the carpet. So we have some straight edges. I have pneumatic cutters, shears, tape measure, magic marker, so I can mark out where I'm going to cut. I want to do all 90 degrees. Get nice patches in there. This will be a little bit difficult. I gotta fold the metal, so I'll do that using a vise and some of this stuff right here. This is actually a panel flanger. If I want the two panels, when I'm doing a patch panel and I want the two panels to meet and be level, I'll use this to flange the panel, so one side bows in, one side comes up and out. When I finally mate the two of them together, they're basically at the same height. So it's very simple, a little bit of welding, grinding, and it's there. If it's a outside finish panel, I might do a skim coat of mud on it just to make it perfect. So we are going to get cracking right now. We're going to get some of these panels marked up, and we're going to start cutting them out, and we'll see what we have to do for patch panels. Alright, so we're going to get going, and I'm probably going to start making this area right here. I got a hole here. I've got this guy right here and this guy right here. So probably the first thing I'm going to want to do is grind this back, see where I got good metal to weld to. Looks like we got an area right here, so I'm gonna run this all the way probably to around here. So let's get a nail line. We'll get in here, and we're gonna use one of these abrasive discs for metal. We'll clean it up a bit, and we'll get going. We get some eye protection stuff, blow gun. I put this in here. I'm not going to use this on this particular project. This right here is for panel welding, panel bonding stuff. You can also use it on the seam sealer. So I just thought I'd throw that in there so you'd see it. So let's get cracking. So I'm going to start by cleaning this up a little bit. Some stuff going on here, a little bit of tar or whatever to seal the seams, original from the factory. Amazing how long the stuff that they used actually lasted. It's tape. That stuff right there, get that out of the way. Like this. cut it right along this edge right here. I'm going to cut it right in the corner. I'm going to cut it up here where you can see it's pretty nice. Pretty solid there. I'll cut it back to probably around here. That's nice. We got weakness here. And I'm going to run it right down here. So I'm going to put one patch panel here. Then I'm going to work my way into here and into here. And see what we got going on there. I made two separate patches here. I may do one big patch. Not really sure yet. I guess we'll wait and see. Same thing with this one. This will be a little complicated because I gotta put some bends in it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I'll get it as close as I can, and that'll be done by using some of these tools and hammer and dolly and a vise, and we'll get that panel in there pretty decent. So I think the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this guy and I am basically gonna, what I'm trying to do is get all my straight edges, so that way everything fits nicely. So, set it away. Line myself up here. Okay. I think I probably should get this out of here. I might have to go for my large square, which is normally used in construction, but I found that it's really handy. And what I do, so let me get this guy, and let me get nice and straight here. It's a little bit short, but that's all right. I can deal with it. End. And make sure everything's uniform. Down here, same thing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take what's left of this piece and I'm going to try to mimic the contours outside of the car using a combination of methods, and then I'll fit it and tweak it and hammer it and twist it and force it into submission the best way I can. I don't really have to do much here. We know we're coming right up into that guy right there, so that's pretty much where we're cutting. Now, I'm going to cut this bad guy out. Lighting in here is a little less than desirable, but doing this, you blow through a lot of discs. So that's why I have multiple tools here. I like to set them all up with fresh blades before I start. That way I don't have to stop in the middle too much. But we'll see how far we get with this stuff here. switch over this guy, which this guy runs all on its own. I don't even have to pull the trigger. What happens when you get air in your lines, there's a little spring in here, a release spring. It gets weak. Once it gets corroded, see that cut like butter. Another thing I usually have is a screwdriver to help pop the panel out. Also, I may not have mentioned this earlier, but before you start cutting anything like this, you want to check underneath, make sure you're not going to be cutting brake lines, fuel lines, anything like that. You know, you cut a gas line, you could have a big problem on your hands. So, I just think I'll try this again. I gotta go a little deeper on this one. See how it's just falling apart? There it's. Still got some strength here, that's promising. It's getting close. I think there's a little support there. Yeah, there is. Okay, there's the problem. So there's a little support underneath the back of this, and that right there is probably a weld area, and that's why that's discolored like that. It's deteriorated in a different manner, and that is probably due to the fact that this was welded. Welded in there, so to say. What I want to do is get this thing out in one piece if I can, because, well, it's almost a moot point at this point, because you see how much that fell apart. But had that stayed together, just like that, it would be a perfect template. So I could just do a couple of things. I could lay this out on a thin piece of cardboard, poster board, something like that, trace it, trim it, and then transfer it onto a piece of sheet metal, flat sheet metal, and I can duplicate the curves and all that stuff on this right here before I ever set it in. And I just clean it up, grind it up, tack weld it in, grind it some more, finish weld it, and then move on to the next panel. So I'm going to have to look at the back side of this because I don't want to damage anything. I don't want to get too rambunctious. So we are going to take a minute. I'm going to find some different tools, and we're going to get back to this in just a second or two. So tune in, and we'll get back to it very shortly.